Okay, so Pi News episode 44, and for a change, I'm running this on a Pi 400 4GB. I'm running it from my 240 gig SSD, and as pretty much as usual, I'm using Twister OS as my OS. So let's switch into screen capture. So first up, a story that loads of people covered. So Raspberry Pi is reportedly planning an IPO, so going public to the tune of $500 million. So the arm of the foundation responsible for the product development and sales, known as Raspberry Pi Trading, been analysed by investment bankers. Sources who spoke to the Telegraph claim Raspberry Pi could be valued at around £370 million. And the Register also covered this. Want to buy your own piece of the pie? No urgency, says Upton of the listing rumours. Eben Upton described the newspaper article as interesting in an email to the Register today, before repeating, "We're always looking at ways to find the future growth of the business, but the $45 million we raised in September has taken some of the urgency out of that." Next up, from Facebook, Raspberry Pi and DIY projects, Eric Susenbach. My first project, an all-sky camera. I am an amateur astronomer and like to capture the planets. Now that the season of planets is almost over, I've made an all-sky camera, and if you have a look at some of the images here, so you can see a very big image of the night sky, and here's the camera with its waterproof dome. Very nice to see. Looks like it's probably a Raspberry Pi 4, although it's tricky to tell in that case. Another Facebook story. This is Pimega 3000. You can see it's a little tiny monitor and what looks like a tiny desktop computer with a, what is that, a wooden mouse and keyboard. That's quite interesting in itself. So if we go back from this, all the information is on here, and there is a YouTube link. I won't play it, but there's a YouTube link on there as well. Ever thought about making an Amiga Mini? So if we have a look, a closer look at some more of these images. Just a really nice look. We've got the floppy disk slot, but it's got the micro SD card in it. We've got a little OLED screen, it looks like there. Obviously there's active cooling in there and some nice LEDs looking rather flash. And you can see from the back, some full-size HDMIs. Oh, that looks like the Perspex case I had with this plug-in breakout board. Yeah, that looks nice. Oh, and that's the desktop of Pimega. I think that's Pimega's desktop, Pimega is amazing. If you ever had an Amiga in the past, it's definitely worth downloading. Yeah, I do like that keyboard. Next up from Hackaday, love this. PiGlass V2 embraces new Raspberry Pi Zero 2. So I covered this before in Pi News. There are some screens attached to this hat, and it's a wearable Raspberry Pi. And obviously the Pi Zero 2 is so much better performance. I've been playing around with it, and emulation is excellent on it. Even as a web browser, it's surprisingly good. And to have this on your head seems like a very interesting way to go with all these ribbon. I don't know if he's going to wear it out and about. That would be nice to see. Yeah, just really admirable. I love things like this with the Pi. Very, very nice to see. Now there is a video which shows the menu. I won't play the video, although it's super quick, but you can use it with this little mini controller, and so it's a Bluetooth controller, and various different things work with it. So now it's got more power, able to play multimedia content through Kodi, emulate classic games of RetroPie, and even stream live video to YouTube. Just very cool. Which reminds me, I've got an Oculus Quest 2 coming. I've ordered one of these. I've been speaking to a few people about it, and I've watched a few videos. It just looks like a great piece of kit. So I don't know if I'll do videos on it, but I'm definitely looking forward to having a play with it. Next up from the official Raspberry Pi blog, this is a really impressive story. Award-winning plastic scanner. This simple handheld device, which is powered by Raspberry Pi Zero, so obviously a Zero 2W is going to make it work better, can identify the 5 most common types of plastic, and it's won a James Dyson Award. Jerry from the Netherlands. The scanner was his graduation project as an industrial design engineer. And you can see there's a little breakdown of what it is. If you want one of these for yourself, it's €261, but could be really, really good for the environment and recycling in the future. I love this video. So again, from the Raspberry Pi blog, robot arm clock. Pretty pointless, but just great to watch. Just really, really interesting the way it just moves around and moves the hands on the clock. Just very impressive. I like the little eye as well when it goes up back and forth. Loads of work has gone into that. Now another updating to Bullseye story. So RetroPie official page, Supreme Retro Gaming posted, for those wanting to update to newest OS, please keep in mind this may or will break something on your build. Known issue at the moment are Wi-Fi not working correctly and USB ports not responding. So if your RetroPie is working, probably leave it as it is. I tend to just download the latest version rather than update it. I tend to find that works better for me, and I often use the ROMs on a separate USB device, and then you just update as a new operating system, and because you're running off the USB device, all of the updates, the game saves, the games and everything are all untouched by it. Little comment here, sudo cry because you killed it. Now, last story might seem a bit weird on a Pi. Microsoft Edge has a secret Linux Easter egg. Now, I saved this story a while ago, not this one, but the one of how to install Microsoft Edge in Linux. Now, I don't know if this works on the Pi, so I figured I'd try it at the end of Pi News. So it looked pretty straightforward. Oh, okay, so there's command line instructions here anyway, so let's go for the dev channel ones and see what it does. Can I just copy the whole lot? Let's open a terminal, paste that in, or don't know if this needs to be on a 64-bit OS, but we'll give it a go. So sudo apt install Microsoft Edge dev, unable to locate package. Okay, so I couldn't get it to work, so I booted up Ubuntu from this 64-bit stick. It's the one I did my Minecraft video on. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so I did a bit more searching, and others have had exactly the same problem. When I follow the normal install instructions, I get unable to locate package. And if you scroll down, I believe you're getting the error because Microsoft is not supporting the Pi yet. The Pi is using ARM64 architecture and Linux uses AMD64. I think I'm going to try it on Windows 11 on the Pi because that has the Edge browser. I wonder if it works in that. Okay, so let's switch operating systems. So I need to shut down Ubuntu and replace it with Windows 11, which I did in a recent video. Pi 400 turns off really quickly. So pop that in and boot up. So we go to the browser and we type in edge://surf. Yeah, it boots up into the game. Oh, but we haven't got a penguin. So that's the difference with the Linux version. In the Microsoft version, you get a person. So, oh, and this is very much like an old ZX Spectrum game, Horace Goes Skiing, I think it was called. We're going to overtake. Yeah, it's quite cool actually. But yeah, something a little extra. Oh, something's coming to get me. And it's an octopus. Okay, so I hope all this helps. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.